I mean, 30, 40 minutes, if that's fine. Yeah. All right.
No, that's
Okay.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah. All right. Great. All right. So, Mike, thanks. So,
Just in case, right? I like people running.
all right. Wow. That's a nice sword. Really excited
That's a
to
dagger. That's a
a
dagger.
dagger. Oh, that's a dagger. That's a
Yeah,
dagger. Whoa,
yeah,
that's big. That's huge. My
yeah. It's about 60 centimeters long, I suppose.
wow, wow, wow. Okay. My impression for a dagger is, all these short things
Yeah.
that's that can that can be hidden under a rock. I'll share that story with you about King's Quest. That was like my first game. All
How is it?
right.
Oh, right. Okay.
You have to find a dagger underneath a rock. You have to move the rock and then get the dagger. All right.
Right. I
So,
see.
all right. So, would you like to share some wins first? Yeah.
Well, what can I say? Yeah, I mean, Olga's home. That's a win.
Okay. 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 Great. 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 All
Nothing
right.
new.
Everything's smooth. Right. Right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. We did. So actually, I just spent the weekend fixing the house up a little bit, getting things nice and in order.
Okay.
So, yeah, but I think the thing is, it's nice that I got that Olga's home, because life can go back to being a bit more normal now rather than being apart. So
Okay. Okay. Great. 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 All right. Okay. So those are the wins. Great. Okay. So I'll share my wins. And there's going to be a huge sharing. Okay. It's kind of like one major decision almost every week.
wow.
All right. But anyway, first I like to share about Delio. Okay. I still think that's kind of really important. I'm learning a lot from the man, and
Yeah.
I really would like to get him as our mentor someday. So he talked about the importance of this is really interesting and very in align with our 10x learning, which is like nature optimized for the global good. Okay, so what that means is, so locally, like individually, we may experience pain, suffering, or things we dislike. Well, that's, for example, like setback, and one in particular, death, right? That's kind of we as individuals we don't like to face. However, Delia was saying something. He was, in Africa, seeing, some animal was, I guess, being taken alive, eaten alive. He felt sorry for the animal. But then he started to think about, what about from nature's perspective? Is that such a terrible, bad thing? And maybe not. Okay, maybe not, because nature is kind of maybe recycling, the resources and optimize for better use, in a sense. So what this means is that I think this is really interesting when you start to look from this perspective, meaning that nature actually it's optimized for the global, the public, the common, the global good. Okay. And in doing so, it might have to, make things, put resources from the less efficient, less effective to the more efficient. So all living beings, they grow and they would die, right? They would die to release the physical materials, or even like in human society, right? If someone, they don't hold on to power too long, right? They release the position of power so that there can be better, new things to be taken over. And this is really about evolution. Okay, so he's looking at this from an evolutionary perspective. Now, what that means for individuals, however, is that we will inevitably, feel pain and suffering, in the process, particularly when the loss is ours, or when we are the one being cleaned up away. Okay, but that's also another thing, which is usually after the pain, after the loss, it's actually inevitably the growth. So this is actually in line with Ben's, material this week.
Yeah.
I don't know if you clean up, right? And then nature will fill it, right, with new stuff. But, if you're careful not to fill up with, again, other 80% stuff, but actually the more like the 20%, the 10x stuff, you will grow, okay, as a result. So So I think this is, and there's a corollary to this, is that the cleaning up process, the releasing process is usually painful. Think of loss of, our partnership, our relation, our money, right?
Yep.
It's usually a painful process to cut away, okay, to depart, right? However,
are you trying to tell me something, Shunyan?
No. I'm sharing the theory, okay, and you can apply however you want, like in your life, personal, professional life, however.
You're not telling me that you're in a part of the cleaning process at the moment, as far as I'm concerned. Going
Well,
on to your next slide.
I have to say this though, is that I'm not just cleaning up, I'm cleaning up myself. Okay, maybe let me put it that way. Yeah, and the thing is, we will feel pain, but the other thing is, so when we feel pain, a good thing to think about that is it's the cleaning up process. And if you can recognize that, you will start to actually embrace and even willingly to, accept pain or even look for pain. Okay, like do the uncomfortable, like do having a hard discussion, hard conversation, right? Or yeah. So I think that's really interesting. So I think what that entails is that the people, we see, or the quote unquote, the very successful, the people admire, people don't realize that these people got to that place maybe because they have a higher pain tolerance, and they're probably enduring a lot more pain than normal people are doing. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's the other side of the coin. Okay. But people usually don't see the other side and see the results, see the achievement, but right. But actually what in reality is that these people who, have achieved more or have grown more probably has experienced a lot more pain than, than you, right? You and I. Okay. So, I mean, it's fair in that way, but it's also, I think, revealing. Okay. So that's a win on my, okay. And then another thing that's I found useful is having thoughtful disagreement. Okay. So you talk about thoughtful disagreement, meaning that we don't have to agree, but in disagreeing conversations, it's usually, people have limited information, okay, limited knowledge, and they're withholding information. So thoughtful disagreement is more about, trying to contribute, try to just find out what's the truth, right? Being truthful, right? And try to contribute to the conversation. I find this also relates to the crucial conversation concept of adding to the pool of meaning. Okay, so that fits nicely, it's basically the same idea, but different ways to describe. But then also, I guess, mutual respect and mutual purpose, that will also be the foundation, right? You have to have those tools in order to have thoughtful disagreements. Okay, yeah, so those are my daily sharing, which I like to share because it's helping me, and I also it will help our journey, okay, towards our massive transformation goals. Now on to the second thing. I decided, and actually I've been accepted for a quote unquote job position.
Oh wow!
In PEI.
Yeah, it's
with work visa. With work visa. That essentially is a multi-year opportunity. Okay, meaning that should I choose to, should I want, it's going to be a 3-4 year visa. Okay, and it's only. And because my kids are still in Taiwan, right? And, they're in boarding school. And so I still like to reserve, summer, winter vacations just fully for them. So probably 3 months, But what that means is the time I'm going to be in PR in Canada will immediately jumpstart from 2 months to 9 months a year, like that. And it just happened yesterday. It's
that's it. Great news. What's the position and what is it?
Okay, so it's actually a purchaser for the monastery here. Okay, so I'm with Bliss Wisdom, right? Yeah. So the monastery here, they would want, and it's actually, I got some feedback. It would be a great position. The reason is, that's actually a work that would get me really involved with the local economy. Because you are going to be buying things from people, right? So you have to like really understand like what's it about, what's the process. And hopefully that will gain insights into the bartering, the bartering platform where we're also building, you probably know, right? And also integrate more closely with the local ecosystem. So, and this will definitely be also beneficial in terms of building up the social impact, the hub, you probably know I want PI to be a social entrepreneur hub, right? For global social entrepreneurs to come together, to meet, right? To learn, to incubate, to pilot, right? So so this all ties in very, very nicely, and it just happened yesterday.
Oh, congratulations!
And what that means also is that you and I might see each other physically, like more frequently. Whether I go to UK, that would be a shorter trip, or a more convenient, a cheaper trip as well. Yeah, from let's say Taiwan, or if you come to Canada, or we can meet in Toronto, for example. Right. I mean, that all becomes a lot more possible, right? So,
well, yeah, for sure, and maybe even, maybe going to Toronto for coach sessions and.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
And also, my wife being able to join us and come as well, sort of thing. So
right, and have a vacation, right? I mean, have a time away, right? And start to have a more remote, nomadic life, right? Lifestyle, which I think you wanted to plan out for the future, right?
Good, yeah. And Canada's a great place. So
yeah. All right, so that's my.
It's a shame that it's got this small lump of French people that live there, but hey.
This is being recorded, right?
Okay. It's called English humor. English humor, sort of thing the French don't get. The Scottish, on the other hand, they understand it and they give it back. But the French, no, they don't get that.
Okay. Well, wait until you have a French on our team.
Yeah, well, that'll be a long time coming.
Okay, all right. So let's get to, I guess, business. So anything in particular you'd like to discuss for today?
No, but I mean, just on feedback, I think that I tell you what, I think that's really exciting news for you, and I think that's fantastic. And what's also nice is that it's for your monastery, so that's. I would hope that there's an alignment there with values. The problem I had when I took on a semi-permanent role with the blockchain people is they were not aligned with anything that I was doing. So it was kind of like, why am I with these idiots? Because they're just not, they just don't get it.
Okay, right, thanks.
And that was, that's an interesting observation that I went through, but that's fine. Another thing then is, and I guess that you've already considered how it's going to impact on your time pressures for everything that you want to do, right?
Right. It's actually a I am seeing literally what Ben is saying, teaching us, like happening in my life. This would not have happened had I not like prearranged my schedule to work 10 hours per week. Really, I mean, my schedule is only 10 hours, like schedule time. And obviously that has a lot of buffer, right? I mean, I obviously don't just work for 10 hours, but it's kind of like squeezing my existing current self, keep only 20% and leave this massive 80% space, in my morning, in my afternoon. It's literally on schedule that I'm able to say yes to this opportunity, right? And while still keeping, the best parts of what I'm operating already remotely, with the 3 companies. I don't intend to like abandon any one of them. In fact, they will probably become more self-managing as a result of this, right? And I do see the process going to repeat after I get familiar with the current, the new job. Again, what I would like to do is to squeeze that into 20% and then leave 80% space. So, but I mean, obviously that's something waiting to be seen, how I'm going to do that, whether I'm going to build a team for that around, around myself for example, but I already have these ideas in my mind, about repeating the same process like periodically. So yeah, this is just for sharing. Yeah.
Well, that's really great news.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. Yeah. All right.
One other thing then, something that you struck me about when you were talking about Ray Dalio was so it just reminded me of a phrase from one of the prayers in the Baha'i faith, and it's "O thou whose tests are a healing medicine to such as nigh unto thee." And so, hold on a second, sorry. I don't have the headphones. I don't know where the headphones are. And it won't make me any quieter. So,
all right. I think you should leave in 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's been a late one. Or I tell you what, actually, bear with me a second. Hold on a second.
Okay.
I'm just going to mute myself. Hold on a second.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
I'm just going to go downstairs into another room. So bear with me a second.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead. So, okay. So I guess anything important you'd like to discuss for today?
No, I left where are they? Yeah, the traction books.
Okay.
Oh, they're in the other room. Freehag and traction. I think what tasks do we have from Freehag to finish that off? We've just got to agree a value statement and guarantee, I think, isn't it? And then I think all we do then is bring it all together and then
exactly. Right. I mean, that just a reminder. I think last week we agreed on I getting a blog, you getting a PowerPoint on Freehag, right? And also I think invite Nick Joy back to the conversation. So yeah, I don't know if Nick responded. Joe hasn't responded.
No, but we can't do next week, right? You know that.
Right. Not the week after next. Yes, the week after next.
Fine. When we spoke, I didn't register that next week is when we're going to be.
Right. That coach. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so I guess my update is the Freehag I published a blog. Okay, although that really is just a quick update, hasn't really summarized. So I think the next step is to summarize the Freehag into a concise document or PowerPoint presentation. Right?
I mean, to be honest, I think I might actually work on that today, because today's a little bit of a resting day, but it's the sort of thing I like doing when I've got no pressure.
Okay.
I know, and also the other thing, I think that the value of what you were saying earlier about conversation,
right?
And coming back to the traction book, it's this whole idea that when you focus on something, you bring a light into something, you shine a light on something. So I don't know, did I tell you about the mushrooms idea? I mean, this whole where we're saying that mushrooms grow in the dark and the wet,
right?
Bring in bright sunlight, they stop growing, right?
Right.
And I think it's really important that when you have dialogue and conversation with people, what you're essentially doing is you're ensuring that there's always a bright, so long as you're bringing sunshine, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And the conversation is about sunshine, then you're always making things better. And I think that's really important. And it's very often that we can become mistaken in that. So, but that's a different story. But I just wanted to resonate kind of with what you were saying, I suppose, was really
Okay.
recommended.
Okay. Nice. Okay. All right. So I think probably the important thing as a next step, it may not necessarily be urgent, okay, but definitely it's going to be relevant. I think it's to bring the 3-hack summary into a very concise form and easily digestible, presentable. So I mean, it's going to be high leverage, right, for multiple stakeholders, whether the team we're recruiting or investors, things like that. Okay, all right. So I guess maybe move on to the next. So collision. Okay.
All right, yeah. Anyhow, keep forgetting about it.
Yeah, we probably still have some time, but have you, just to check, have you got access to the tickets? Are you is that aware? Do you have recollection of registering for the ticket for this year?
No, I haven't registered for anything. Definitely not.
Oh, okay, that might be my mistake. Okay, so all right, so probably get you assigned a ticket. And also, I want to confirm something: is when are you going to stay in Canada? Because we might want to pay a visit to Brenton, to Andrew's place, and part of that is my current pod, one of the guys in my pod actually lives in Toronto, in Brenton, and
Right.
I invited him. Actually, there's a WhatsApp group from last year's collision, JCF Collision, if you could check.
Yeah. I see.
Right, that guy, Umar, I think he's an entrepreneur, although I think he's more on the kind of the sales marketing function, okay, of things. I'm not too sure if he's like a fully independent entrepreneur, but yeah, but he's definitely quite in that space. I guess at least in the mindset. And just kind of curious, Uzier, I think it might be fun to invite him, also meet Andrew, somewhere in Brenton. And also, Andrew talks so much about Brenton being a young, promising, vibrant, electric transport city, like the first city in North America with a full e-bus fleet. Okay. Probably worth a visit, because Brenton could be a base for JCF, North America, or I guess JCF Canada, right? Yeah. So basically, yeah. So what is your schedule? I mean, for the collision?
As you're speaking, I'm just trying to find the confirmation from.
Okay. So collision ends in June 29th, the Thursday.
Yeah, I know I'm flying back on the night. I land the morning of the 1st of July. I know that. So
the 1st of July?
That's when I'm landing back in England. I arrive in England.
I see. Okay. So that means you're probably taking a Sunday. No, I think July, 1st of July. Oh, okay. You're probably taking a Friday flight, or
okay,
yeah, Saturday or Friday flight. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got departing Heathrow on the 21st of June. So I'm landing sometime on. Actually, I think I'm landing around about 3 o'clock-ish on the 21st of June, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So I've got an Airbnb booked from then.
Okay.
I'm checking out on the 30th of June, which I think is a Saturday.
Okay. All right. So you're departing on Saturday, right?
Yeah, and I think it's a late flight, so it's like 9. I think I've got to be at the airport at, like, I don't know, 7 o'clock in the evening or something like that, or 5 o'clock or something like that. Because then and then I'm getting the overnight flight back to London and landing in London, I don't know, at 10 o'clock in the morning or something.
All right, makes sense. All right. So I think the most sensible thing might be to have a Brampton visit on the 30th, if you like that to be a joint trip.
Yeah, sure, that'd be really cool. I think. Well, do we not want to meet Andrew beforehand?
We might at Collision. Yes. I'll confirm with him. Yeah. Okay. Well,
And here's the other thing.
How about this? I'm sorry.
You're
Go
really
ahead.
keen. You're really keen on having Andrew as, you know, a more active part of the team and then really fulfilling stuff. So, and he's really keen to do it. But I think he needs, you know. So what? Okay. So I think one of the advantages of being sat next to each other all day, right? So that we can just hammer out like loads of these little not obscure, but these things that we never quite finish talking about. So, you know, having the free hag thing done and dusted, having the and answering any questions there, having Andrew questions sorted out.
Yeah.
By default, having our kind of, because we've got our free hag thing, then having an understanding of what it is that we want from partners, and I think just understanding structure.
Right.
And then that's going to help us accelerate who's, because at the moment, you know, I think that's one of our kind of, that's been a dilemma that well, not a dilemma, but you know, that's one of the stalling blocks, if you like.
Right. Okay.
So
that's the obstacle. That's the obstacle, and you know, the obstacle is the way.
Yeah, I tell you, you know what? I think there's a lot to be said about what you were saying earlier about how you know, that if you experience some level of pain, then there's growth from it. And I think that's the whole thing about, you know, again, quoting the writings, it's be generous in prosperity and thankful in adversity. And being thankful in adversity is having, it's not that you go out your way to look for trouble and
correct.
When you find yourself in a position where you're suffering, you have to remember that that's a lesson. All lessons are repeated until
learned. Correct.
And that's it, you know. I mean, and it's also, I suppose, most recently in the March-April period, I've kind of like had some things that I've needed to deal with, and it's only when you actually shine a light on them and you look at them and you face up to them and you go, okay, fine, that's a pressure, but register that it's a pressure, and then look at it.
Okay.
And then that helps once you've identified it, which is interesting, because the reason why they bring it up in traction is because it's about, and I was talking to Olga about this last night on the way home. When you look at your P&L statement, it's a statement of fact, it's history, it's what's happened. Right? So it's not actually giving you any benefit other than a forensic overview of what happened. You know, it's like the coroner looking at the body and telling you what the person died of. It's not going to stop the you know, if we're using a rather gruesome analogy of a TV murder show, for instance, it's not going to stop it's not like a Infinity Report with the little American bloke, what's his name?
Right. Minority Report. Yeah, Minority Report, where you can forecast the future. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's not it's not like, but if you have your KPIs or your dashboard, which is what I really enjoyed about the idea of dashboard, is that if we understand what the KPIs are, sorry if I do it over on this, then we're able to figure out what's happening to the shape of the organization. And it's only by being clear and shining a light on the issues and the things that you want to have as goals and stuff, that you can understand what's shaping the forecast of the business. And so, for instance, to give you a real life example, I know that if I've quoted a customer within income sec, 50% of the time that comes good.
Okay.
We close 50% of our quotes. Now, all of that then means is, well, okay, if I wanted £1 million, then I would need to make sure that I quoted 2 million.
Right. Okay.
Simple maths, right?
Right.
If I wanted to 10x, I needed to 20x my quotes.
Right.
So it's just but then you come into a logical kind of flow of what are the other KPIs to come back in that chain.
Right.
And yeah, okay. Sorry, I kind of went down a bit of a rabbit hole there, but
no worries. You're just saying that, I think, to go back, the dashboards are more important. And I think traction tells you, right? I think you're saying that from traction, because I'm also listening to that. I mean, it's a better indicator, and also it's a live indicator, right? I think they talk about the New York mayor, Giuliano, you know, that guy. He helped to like drop the crime rate down quite a bit by having a live dashboard of what's the current status to sort of you know, catch issues while they're still in the process or in the making, so that they don't really happen. So
true, exactly. I think that's an exciting place. Now, does it matter that we've only got us two really, you know, working on this? Or I should say,
I don't think so. Right. I think it's less and less of a concern to me now. And the reason, you know, I was actually, I don't know, I like to share this quote from, you know, from the Peter Diamandis. Okay. I think I just heard from an interview from him last week, really inspiring. He was saying that we are at an exponential growth curve, you know, in technology, in society, in trends. What that means is we will be seeing the $3 billion company unicorn, like in the near future.
Right. Okay.
That's a direct quote. That's a direct quote. And I was like a bit surprised, but then I realized what he's saying is not far from the mark. Actually, what he's saying is true. It's true. You know, if you really think about where things are going, just to give you an example, WhatsApp, the company, when they were sold to Facebook, they were sold for billions of dollars. So they're obviously a unicorn. You know, that was they're obviously a unicorn by then. The employee count was 50%.
Yeah,
50 people creating a unicorn, you know. So you know, you can only see, you know, like what was the last, you know, like the unicorn company and the company size. And you probably will see this decreasing trend, you know, in terms of the number of headcount, right? So the you know, it's already down to 50, and that's a few years ago. WhatsApp, that was a few years ago, right? So you can definitely think of the next one probably will be in the tens of range, right? And it's only a matter of time before a less than 10% team creates a unicorn.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
And that's abundance. That's abundance, and it is abundance. You know but it's only abundant for the people who understand, who can see, and who can utilize the exponential technology, the trend curve that's happening.
Right? So that's okay. So logically, that would then mean that to achieve that, you've got automation and you've got systemization.
Exactly, and also amplification, massive implication by machines, by computers.
And so that's an interesting concept, because then we're on a topic which really annoys me, because every man and his dog is trying to stimulate some level of dialogue about AI and why it's going to steal your job and all this kind of gumph, right? Which, interestingly, we published a blog, a post on Medium about AI and stuff like that months ago, and then suddenly it's like two months later. It's a really hot topic. Okay.
Right.
Well, that in itself is an interesting statement, because then that means that what we've done is we've actually been ahead of the curve in terms of
what you're talking about. Are you talking about a 1,000-year business blog that which
I'm talking about one that, I can't remember which one it was. It was I mean, I wrote it, but again, it was about.
Oh, okay. You wrote a blog. Okay, about AI. Right. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Will humans steal your job, or will AI steal your job, or something like that?
Right. Okay.
But it just means that the idea is ahead of the curve, and I think that's the important thing, is that we are now. So let's keep having those ideas which are ahead of the curve.
Right.
Two,
obviously.
Yeah. Two, are we I mean, I think right now the comments that I'm reading are just are almost trivial in the way in which people are utilizing them, because all that they're doing is they're using them as a marketing ploy to sit there and get people to listen to them talk about their product.
Right.
And it's not about any genuine Yeah, okay.
Real
So
job being done by AI, right? Like real
Elon
work.
Musk and all of those other people sit there and talk about how we should be cautious, right?
Right.
You know, that's actually a statement. Now, I personally don't believe that Elon Musk does anything out of anything, but there's a motivation behind that to generate or stimulate some level of leverage from whatever it is he's doing. Okay, for his own, for the benefit of one of his entities. But what that did is it stimulated a load of other people to follow on that, and it becomes a lot of hot air about around a subject which is not really as big as it seems. Okay. Such though that do we need to be working on a premise which addresses any of those legitimate kind of thoughts? And I just, you know, I wonder, I think there's a topic there to discuss, but I wouldn't say it's either important or urgent. It's just more of a kind of long-term, you know, or how will it?
Okay.
Because at some point, people...
I see. Are you trying to ask the question? Should we be cautious about thinking how, for example, our use of exponential technologies might impact society? Is that no?
I think we embrace it because that's a way of moving forward. But I also think it's worth just considering. I mean, there is I suppose it's not that we should be cautious about using it. It's about being cautious about how we present it, if anything, because, you know, for a few people to achieve a lot, you know, that. But then again, I don't believe there's anybody, or I'm not aware of anybody who is doing the same as what JCF are doing. JCF,
okay,
profitable way for individuals to grow entrepreneurially and have a social impact built into the natural fabric of what they do. No, I don't see anybody else doing that.
Okay.
Anybody else offering that as a neat thing?
I don't. Yeah, obviously, I tend to look at myself and what we can do, you know, ahead of the curve. Not so much what others are doing, because I think everybody is solving a unique problem, and it's really the bigger the problem you are solving, you are trying to tackle, you know, the bigger the solutions, right? And the more higher growth rate you will experience. What I like to share a few things, okay, just to put that also onto your filter attention, okay, because you know, part of 10x is really having this 10x filtering mechanism of the information we're, you know, getting. I am thinking that we should seriously thinking about the question: how can JCF be the 3-man unicorn? I'm not saying that we will only have 3 people, okay, you know, or we should just, you know, cap our team talents to 3. What I'm saying is that I think that's a really good comment and question Peter Diamandis has posted. You know, it's kind of like Peter Thiel's question: how can we achieve your 10-year goal within the next 6 months? Right? That's a 10x thinking, right? That's maybe 100x kind of thinking, but that becomes a filter. Right. So what I can share is that I can already see funnel marketing be part of the sales marketing process, you see, because funnels, you know, when I mean, I learned another concept that was really, you know, useful for me, is that the future has already happened. It's just not equally distributed. Okay. I forgot where I heard from that, but maybe what's somewhere. What that means is all we have to do is really just be on the lookout of all these exponential tech that can become high leveragers for us in achieving our unique goal. Okay, that may or may not involve a fair team size, but that's goal again for results economy and quality, not quantity, right? It's not the amount of effort, it's not the number of people we get employed or the team size. No. It's what results we're able to achieve with the best possible tools, solution, and thinking, mindset, coaching, right? Connections, right? So I really like this to become our, our next kind of filter mechanism. Okay. And I can already say that funnel marketing, I believe, it's, like Russell Brunson built this giant empire, like tens of millions of dollars of cash just pouring every month with 3 funnels, and they're automated. Okay. And he has customers, clients that are, that are just onboarding. I mean, I think ClickFunnels has a 400-man team, but I guess what I'm saying is, if we can, I mean, business according to Traction has 3 major functions, right? There's the admin finance part, there's the sales marketing part, there's the delivery part, the operation delivery part, right? Yeah. So, I think investment, as far as I'm concerned, I think our strategies can really be highly automated. And in fact, we want it to be automated, right? I mean, it at some point, it's going to just be like we deciding the rules, right? Or to fine tune and improve the rules. But basically, it's running by itself, right? It's a money making machine, that we're basically building, right? It's a based on some principles of, index, passive investment, dollar cost average. Those are just trial and tested principle. We're just applying into the crypto field and trying to create a reliable ROI, right? That can compound over long term. I see that part as pretty, it's like 90% plus automatable, you see? And then the marketing sales part, if we can automate that with funnel marketing, okay, that's also going to be like 90% automatable, right? And then it will just be like a finance admin. And obviously we know that, lots of admin stuff can be automatable, can be outsourceable, can be done by virtual assistants, with which we're already doing actually. And then the financial control forecasting, that part, I think we might want a really good CFO, right? That I believe obviously is not one of our capability at the moment, no. Right? So like a CFO, a really good CFO, a really forward-looking CFO might be the 3rd person on our team. You see? And if that person can also become, let's say also like the CIO role, part CIO, or join the discussion, that would be great. But I think a CFO role, who can really like manage, control, forecast, cash in, out, just the economics of the machine, then that's a company. That's a complete operation.
Yeah. Interesting now.
You see? And what we are doing, I think, as human minds brings, I think the high leverage point for us is to do the connecting dots, connecting impact part, which machines cannot do. Right? To make the human connection, right? For example, right now we have already our first governmental proposal, right? But it's going to be the one of the many to be sent out, right? Right. I mean,
this first one took us something like 2 months to deliver.
Exactly. The next one will be shorter, right? Will be much shorter, right? Right. So So I guess
I'll be surprised if the next one takes us 2 weeks, to be honest with you.
Right. And the interesting thing is, it's only going to get faster and faster if we have this filter, in our attention. And I'll give an example. And this is also just sharing something really encouraging, and I'm really grateful and thankful. We had the monthly. Oh, this is another thing. Monthly gathering. Okay. I see that the future, the 10-year future subscription yuan will be running masterminds for external coaching clients and internal team. Okay, so I actually restructure my schedule a bit. And right now it's on Friday, 4:30 p.m. Taiwan time. So I think that would be like 9:30 a.m. for you. Okay, on Fridays. And this is something I like to invite you to join in as well, just to be kind of like an internal mastermind, just once a month, kind of just like a, a multi-company wide, you can invite Dan as well, just whoever our partners, just kind of like a, a cross cross everything kind of monthly gathering, right? Like a town hall meeting, right?
Right.
And I think if we start to start that traction over 10 years of period, it's going to be like really like an important partners kind of free zone kind of gathering, for the participants within our ecosystems. Okay, and what this is entailing. Okay, so and I guess what I like to share is okay. I mean, already, sorry, I kind of lost a bit of thoughts on there, but
Really interesting concepts. But just while you gather your thoughts, oh, I was going to make a point now, and I've forgotten what it was as well.
Okay, sorry. I was going to say that the small team size, Yeah. And also, right. Okay. So sorry. I was going to say, okay, I already recall now. Matthew Blue Tea. Okay. Blue Tea, actually, Matthew, he was invited to be on the advisory for what we call Taiwan's Ministry of Digital Affairs, MODA. Okay. So it's actually a new ministry created because of Audrey Tang. You can Google about her. Okay. Audrey Tang. And she's a friend of ours. Okay, I actually met her from the open source community before she went on to the the political scene and become like high level of official. And she's young. She's like not yet 40. She was actually a child prodigy. Okay, that was self-taught at home and became a computer hacker really early, and was doing international work. And when she was recruited to the government, she kind of started, hacking into the big, huge government machine and doing all sorts of things. So one of the reasons actually Taiwan actually has an edge in the COVID, I think there are some articles about this, was due to her credit, because for example, like very early on, she developed this mask map and also like systems of, indicating where people have been like caught COVID and what measures to be did. Yeah, so basically using digital technology, it was well contained, at least in Taiwan, okay, for a couple of years. So, I mean, that was Audrey, and now she's like a minister, okay, in Taiwan with the digital affair. Blue Tea right now works with her on a very closely sync, working group to form policies for Taiwanese government to adopt in terms of cybersecurity. Okay. Wow. And what I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying is Audrey also recently pushed for a kind of a UBI infrastructure. Taiwan citizens recently were awarded everybody, regardless of age, sex, $200 of cash. And you can withdraw from any ATM or get it transferred to your bank account. Okay, so 200, yeah, flat. That's a basic income. Although small, $200, but it was for everyone, regardless of any background.
And is that a one-off payment, or is it on a
one-off? That's a one-off payment. But the important thing is, okay, and note this, is that Taiwan now already has the physical capability to distribute UBI through banking systems.
Yeah.
And it's been done. It's been done. I mean, that was kind of like Audrey's work, I know, like earlier this year. Okay, like this year, that was like one of the major things that she pushed forward to.
Yeah, what level of dialogue can we have with her?
Exactly. So the reason why I'm saying this is that, she knows me. I mean, we both know each other, and Blue Tea works for her now. Okay. I mean, so there's obviously some relation, right? And, I think it's only a matter. And actually, the interesting thing is JCF back in 2018, when we just started, even pre-company, before the company formation, I actually paid her a visit in April. JCF Taiwan was incorporated in July. In April, I actually paid her a visit, just to share the concept for JCF, which she thought was interesting. And she also pointed some feedback. And that full dialogue is fully recorded, like she records our conversations and put it on the web, like being fully transparent. So that is actually, searchable. I might send you a link to it, and you can have Chat API to translate, but it's just really interesting. Okay, so the Audrey conversation, and the thing is, I think when we are mature and ready to a certain level, right, or maybe now, I don't know, that probably we want to engage her, right, to see if it's something that Taiwanese, whether it's something that Taiwanese government would be interested, right?
I think before, I mean, not even just do it now. Just see if we can't engage with her now.
Okay. I mean,
right,
fail at your future self, right? Fail at your future self, right?
Yeah, but I mean, what's the point? What's the point in waiting? That's a 100% thinking, isn't it? Right. So
yes, okay,
we're
I'll do that.
Done.
Consider done. All right, I'll send it. I'll send an email to her. Actually, I invited her to speak on Web Summit, and through I introduced basically, and Web Summit invited her, but she declined. I mean, she was too busy. So.
Yeah. Just, I mean, I think the fact that because then there's a logical link, right? So you've got the connection, you've got the fact that you've had the conversation in 2018, 5 years later, because of her effort, there's actually been a UBI payment made. Just go like, this is fantastic for you. Guess what we've done in the last 5 years? I think it would be really helpful for us together.
Okay. I see.
Have this connection. What do you? Why don't we have a dialogue?
Right.
We've already started working with. We've already started having opening dialogues with other governments.
Right.
And I think that's the way that kind of linkage would
okay. Work. Mike, here's what I'm going to do. Actually, my thinking is this: every time right now, actually, when I write something, as in using my intellect to write something, I like that to have the maximum impact. So in the sense that it's a public document. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to write a blog post this week, okay, summarizing what we've done. Also, our vision, our thinking about how we can work with governments, okay, and the benefits of that, okay. Basically, just a pitch, right? A pitch of the issues, the progress, and what JCF can offer. I will write that blog, get it into 2 languages, translated with. 2 versions. I already tried that with my last blog with the JCF main update. Actually, it's bilingual. Okay, with ChatGPT's help. Okay, so that was so make it bilingual. Send it to Audrey. Okay, and see if we can have an appointment or discussion.
Cool.
How's that?
Yeah, no, that's brilliant.
If that's, so that's not just engaging her. That's not just her. But also it can be pitched to other investors or governments, right?
I get it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess what I share is we should leverage, we should maximize the amount of input with the potential output, right? Yeah, cool. Just thinking that way. Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. Okay. So any last thoughts before we sign out?
No, it's interesting though. That's would we have had that idea at the beginning of the conversation? Did we think about that as being an action point that comes out of our dialogue?
Mm-hmm. Right.
What's interesting is we've just had an action that's taken all of what we've spoken about,
right,
and blended it all together with our experience, and now we're punching something out which has got potential for kind of.
This is how you build traction. Actually, this is how you build traction. You package, summarize what you have already done, right, and make it valuable, and then you try to create the next value for someone, right, and try to make that into a positive cycle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So one final thing: the Brenton visit. I'm actually thinking about that can actually be pre-collision or post-collision, and maybe I'll let our Canadian friends choose.
Because I mean, I'm going to be the reason why I'm flying on the 21st is I know I'm going to be jet lagged, so I've got the 22nd.
Right, to adjust. Right.
Mm-hmm. Of wandering around like a zombie. 23rd, we've got our.
It's the workshop. Yes. Right. Yeah. I'm also arriving 21st. I will also be in front of 20. Well, we will arrive on the same day. Yeah, on 21st.
Right. Okay. Happy to meet up completely. Obviously.
Okay. Okay, sure.
any time then. Yeah, so that's that. And then
Okay.
so Monday. So you're arriving in 2 days. That's cool.
Yes. Right. On 31st. Yeah. All right.
So
Great.
do I need to
So,
give you
yeah.
anything for where you're going, right?
You already done it last time, so yeah, no worries. I think it's just that we want to I guess keep our SMS open in case. Okay. All right.
Okay. But yeah, I'll be driving, so I'll probably get there for about noonish, sometime around noon.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. I'll just
So,
get to the place you mentioned. Yeah.
but
So
in Westfield, Shepherd's Bush,
okay.
there's like I don't know, 100 different places you could sit down and have a coffee.
Oh,
It's just,
okay. So
you know,
where should we meet though? I mean,
well, there's a place
or
assuming that we're going to have lunch with my customer.
okay,
There's
sure.
a place that we always go to, but it's a restaurant, so I wouldn't advise going there straight away. I'll
Okay.
tell you, I'll send you a link of where it is.
Sure.
But I'll see if there are there's a ton of small cafes and little things where you could buy a glass of water or a cup of tea or something like that.
Okay,
And
sure.
if you've got to wait half an hour or an hour, it won't matter. Or there's maybe you can indulge your material side and just look in the shops, because there's a Tiffany's there, and there's
Okay. Okay. Get my gift shopping done. Okay.
there's a Tesla store, there's a Levi store, there's an Apple store,
Okay, I see. I get the picture. Yeah. All right.
so there's that sort of thing to do as well. So if you want to burn like half an hour, it's an easy place to burn half an hour. Or if regardless of whether or not you wanted to sit down and do that with some thought, and if it's a nice day, there's plenty of places. There are places to sit.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. No, I like to meet up with you, as soon as I arrive.
I will.
So
I will get there
yeah.
I will do my best to get there for 12 o'clock.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
And
So, all right. Okay. All right. So look forward. Okay.
Awesome.
To the yoga trip. Yeah. Fantastic wins and gains and progress. And
Yeah.
keep the momentum. Yeah.
I'm really excited and stoked about what we're doing. So
okay. Yes, it is. We're actually building up, right? We're building up towards some really, really great peak experiences. Yeah. So
yeah.
All right.
Bye,
Take care. All right. See you in a couple of days. Yeah. Bye. Take care. Bye.